it's Lunatric here again, and welcome to my channel. This is a quick video of 6 things that I wish I knew before I started my 2 years doing van life. So the first thing is going to seem pretty obvious to some people, but you'd be surprised. You're going to need somewhere to park. You can't just keep driving and follow the wind and woo, I'm doing van life, I'm just gonna park at a beach and sleep there for the night. It really doesn't work like that, at least not in Australia. Most of our beaches have signs up saying no camping in vans, no camping in general, and you will find that a ranger will come by, or maybe a police officer, early in the morning, knocking on the vans, finding people and sending them away. Now, you might get a cop doing that, you might get a ranger doing that, you might even get an abusive citizen doing that. One of the ratepayers who bought a really expensive house by the beach and now you're blocking their view. I have seen people having their tires slashed because they were repeat offenders of parking at a beach. And that's just the nature of the game. So number 2 is prepare to be shooed away. Now, if you were trying to do this free camping situation, that relates to my last point, and you are going to get moved on a lot. But even if you're not doing free camping, if you are paying for your parking in a caravan park or a showground or a scout camp, then generally these places have a 2-week rule. So don't get too settled in. Don't expect to be there and then be able to get a job in the area. You're going to have to move. These rules are generally for the groundskeepers so that they can keep mowing the grass and they can keep the site looking good. So just be aware of that. Number 3 is a bit of a tricky one because it doesn't apply to every place. And that is that caretakers are dictators. So in a lot of the places that I stayed in a paid site, you've got one person that is in charge for a couple of months. They have a caretaker job, but it's never kind of a permanent job for them. They usually have it, I think, for like 6 months to a year, and then they get a new caretaker in. At least that was the case for the scout camps and the showgrounds. Otherwise, if it's a caravan park, it's usually somebody that is keeping their job for a while and they're in charge. So you need to learn to kiss the ring and don't poke the bear. They can say anything to you, they can do anything to you, and you don't have any say in anything because you're just a visitor, and that's the way it is. So point number 4 is it's actually a lot more expensive than living in a small apartment or a small unit. So the cheapest site I found in my 2 years on the road was about $120 a week, but you really get what you pay for. I mean, the facilities were yuck. There's no laundry there, and generally you're crammed in like sardines. So it's pretty common to pay $250 a week just for a piece of grass. And now you're also using public toilets, and you're also putting a lot of coins into public washing machines. Those are generally a minimum $5 wash, and then another $5 to dry your clothes. So yeah, make sure you budget accordingly and expect that you're going to be paying a lot in site fees and even more in fuel and then car maintenance on top of that. This is not something that you can do to get out of paying the bills. You're going to end up paying more as a van lifer than if you were in a small rent subsidized apartment. So point number 5 is that an extreme weather event at any point can tear your shelter to pieces. It's pretty hard when you're out there in a big storm and all you've got are some pretty thin tinny walls around you, and water starts coming in and leaking in, and you need to be aware that if that starts happening, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can't see, like the walls might be rotting and there's probably mold growing, and your shelter is not going to withstand that rain season. Unfortunately, Mother Nature does take over, and if you're living out there in the forest, you really feel it. Yeah. So, number 6 is a bit of a hard one. You're technically a homeless person. So, for all paperworks, and I mean, you still have to be a licensed driver, you're still going to have a Medicare card, you're still going to, at some point, you're going to have to put your address in somewhere, and that becomes really complicated when you don't have one. So I was declared with Services Australia as having no fixed address for 2 years. So that's technically 2 years I was homeless. And I like to dress that up as much as I could on social media by posting selfies of me on the beach and having a really fun time with my dog, hula hooping everywhere. But at the end of the day, I was in a crisis. So don't believe a lot of the stuff you see on YouTube. Van life is not a sustainable way to live long term. You need somewhere to park your van. Going back to point 1. So if you have a close contact that owns an off-grid property, great, go get a van and go live on it for a bit. That's fantastic. If you just want to travel Australia or America or Europe or wherever you are in the world, then that's fantastic, but it's not van life, it's a vancation. And I don't think that we should use words like van life, because it's not a lifestyle. It's everything is temporary. Nothing is really at rest. Everything moves, everything vibrates. So make sure you don't get stuck on one idea and think that that is going to be your forever, because you can definitely grow beyond that. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my channel. If you like my content, please do subscribe and click the bell button to get notifications. Thank you so much. I am Lunatric, and I will see you in the next episode.